Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back. What's up? The Raging Max Show. D, Nerve, AK, Callie, Frankie, Maxime, and Mr. Robinson. And chat right now. What's going on? Pretty good week last week. Pretty good week for a lot of people. Meta went crazy. That's when I was really watching going into last week. Missed it, but still had a good week. The week before last week was one of my worst weeks in like a year. And then I had a nice comeback week last week. So hopefully it's another good one. What's up, Zeke, in the chat? I don't know the chat on the screen. It's not really loading, but if you watch the pre-week stream I did there we go. If you watch the pre-week stream I did last weekend, Sunday night, there was a lot of gems on that stream. And we talked about so many charts going into last week that looked pretty decent, and a lot of them did very, very well. This was probably my biggest gain, which I looked at last week on the Sunday stream going into the week. We looked at this pattern, and I did trade it. A little bit of a lotto with earnings. Thankfully, it worked out. Made about 200% profit on that. I talked about Square. I'm pretty sure that was loaded as a swing. Made about 50% profit on that last week. And then just some nice trades on a few other names. I can't even remember. There was a lot going on. So yeah, let's talk about what's going on headed into this week. We're going to be starting off with crypto, then we're going to head into other markets and then stock market. So Bitcoin on the daily does not look that different right now. Why does my headphone sound so weird? But yeah, Bitcoin looks pretty similar. This is like really throwing me off. It's like white noise. I don't know. My AirPods have been weird lately. But yeah, Bitcoin looks very similar on the daily right now. Kind of flushed down last Friday. But on the 4-hour, we've got a little bit of a wedge forming with classic bullish divergence in play. I think as long as you can continue to hold 21.6K and break out of this wedge above that level, you could get a nice little move up. Overall, you're still within this range though. So nothing too crazy there. Let's see how that inverse head and shoulders is looking on Ethereum. It's still okay, but there's not much more room. Like, it should be time to go shortly if this is going to play out. That's really all I have to say for that. US 10-year. Pretty decent flush on Thursday. Actually, no, Friday. Large bearish engulfing candle, but it is coming back down into this previous resistance area. So we will see. That could act as a support. It's just mixed variables because you're also kind of breaking down from this channel. It's really just, do you bounce off of this zone or do you break back under it and then set up a potential further sell-off? We'll see. Maxime in the chat saying, man, that sounds weird. I'm not sure if the audio is messed up for all of you too. It shouldn't be. It should just be on my end. Let me know. Crude oil probably still just going sideways, kind of, but bouncing up a little bit. I don't know. There's a lot of ways you can look at this. Just consolidation right now. See how that turns out. Gold bouncing higher after that wedge breakout. Silver trying to reclaim the 200-day moving average. Still under a very important zone though. Dollar currency index breaking down from this wedge. But you've also got hidden bearish divergence. This could maybe roll over a little bit more. And then finally, I think I streamed that day, but the Hang Seng Index broke out of this wedge last week. And we looked at a few Chinese names, and they had pretty good bounces. NEO was one of them, which had a pretty good day on Friday. Double bottoming kind of at the bottom of this range with some classic bullish divergence. Might be breaking out of a little wedge here too, but Chinese stocks, they're showing variables, a large amount of them. XPV, another one. Look at that channel and the little support zone. I think there was one I sent to premium members for this week's watch list. It was this one. I don't know if this is a Chinese stock for sure. I think so, because in the news it says Shanghai closes at its highest level this year. We've got this like massive inverse head and shoulders trying to get back above the 200-day moving average for this name. We'll see, we'll see. The one that doesn't really show much to me right now is Baba. It kind of flushed back under the 200-day moving average. So I don't know. I mean, it would have to kind of reclaim probably 95 for me to be a little bit more optimistic about the technicals for at least right now. And just finally, we'll look at energy, XLE. Nice bounce off of 83 support, classic bullish divergence off the 200-day moving average. Let's see if it can break out of this wedge going into the next week. It's kind of like the cup and handle is just like this at this point. So it's still a potential cup and handle on XLE. Energy names, there's a few swings I put out on energy, or a couple at least. X was one of them. This was alerted to everyone in the Discord. This swing is at highs right now. It's up about 15% since I alerted it. Breaking above this resistance level now, dating back to August of 2021. And then also for premium members, this was a very, very nice one. I alerted it and it's just been going straight up almost every single day. Also up about 15% CLF. I alerted this probably this day, probably February 24th or something like that. But yeah, nice little breakout back test of a previous resistance flipped into a support and then just ripping. So these are the other targets that already pretty much nicely surpassed the first target of this swing that I shared to premium members a couple weeks back. And that's really it for energy. Let's head on over into the SPY, which had a beautiful day, just a straight autopilot, up, up, and up. Type of day on Friday. This is pretty much what the SPY did on Friday. This was the SPY's price action on Friday. That was it. So there's your update for the SPY. Let's move over to the ARK. Just kidding. Let's go back. Go down to the 4 hour. Actually, let's get started with the daily. I'm kind of all over the place right now. So going back to this stream, literally my last stream actually. No, my second to last stream. This one. All right, do or die for the SPY. We were at a huge make or break area, a lot of mixed variables, and the biggest one was the 200-day moving average. We ended up getting a nice bullish engulfing candle off of that level, and you got a nice fall through day after that as well. So 2 strong days. I was in a webinar with Keanu Trace earlier today, and he talked about the fact that if we get another day like that tomorrow, it would set up a 3 white soldiers candle pattern for the SPY. So if we get one more day that looks something like that, you have a 3 white soldiers candle pattern, probably the best way to potentially backtest the 200-day moving average like we did. However, you are heading up into this zone of resistance. You can see some highs here from the end of last year, September of last year, lows here from April of last year, and then lows here all the way back in May of 2021. So that is your next zone of resistance. You did bounce off of this lower zone. You can see how nicely these zones have been playing out over the past couple of months. And that's pretty much it for the daily. On the 4 hour, the wedge and the hidden bullish divergence did play out, so we can delete those for right now. And you are back within this upsloping channel. And then on the 1 hour chart, that bullish bat, this was shared last Sunday night on stream. The same pre-week stream I'm doing right now, I did exactly a week ago. And we were, I think, we were like right over here. We were right over here last week on the stream. Yeah. Was the market close on the 20th? Might have been President's Day or something. It was the 20th. That was 2 weeks ago. 1 second. I'm like really confused right now. That was President's Day. Maybe that was different. I think, let's see. No, I'm right. I'm right. Am I? No, the 26th was the last Sunday. So the 27th, where were we at? Okay, we were here. So we were right over here. I just had to make sure I did that correctly. We were right over here on the last Sunday night stream. All right, and I drew out this bullish bat, and the level I kept saying was 392, 392. That was the big level. Let's see. I want to boost my ego a little bit going into the week. Let's see if I can. In bearish patterns, you can have bullish parts to them. So let's delete this for a second. And let me pull this up, move up. Really, the support
also, this was another thing that played out very nicely. Who was watching that one?
With this bullish
redrives pattern,
or at least even if it turns into a bearish pattern, this could be a short-term bottom put in around this area on the SPY. Bullish divergence on the market had 3 and 290. Go over to heading into this line actually becomes a bullish pattern. So
literally what I just drew out right there. You see this? That's exactly what happened. All right, look at the bottom of the wedge and the bottom of this bullish bat right over there, right where I started drawing that line. Quite literally, that is exactly what happened. This is what I drew. And then boom. And we were up over here. So we literally went down into the bottom of this blue zone. And the technicals worked, you know. They just worked. They're not always going to work like that. They worked pretty nicely that time. And now we're here. So what's going on at this point? All right. Into the close on Friday, we pretty much came up to this level, which was some lows from Friday, February 17th. And that is what we are testing right now. If we go onto the 15-minute chart, you can see it's pretty much this level. I'm going to keep this on my chart going into the new week, this zone over here. That was our zone to close last week, and it was our support from the week before on Friday, or 2 weeks before. And in between that, we pretty much had a massive double bottom on the SPY. So now we are here, very simple, okay? This is our zone we are testing. Futures are flat headed into the week. We break above this, and you might be headed straight for this gap fill around 406.3. Got a little level here at 405 though, from this low on February 10th. 405, February 10th low, and then gap fill at 406.3. That's what's next if you break above this zone and you continue on in autopilot mode. If you reject this zone, probably straight back down to around 401. You can see you had a lot of highs over here from February 22nd and 23rd, and then a major low here on January 31st, and a couple of highs here on January 24th. So those are your two closest zones. You're kind of just sitting in this little level in between them. Those are the two main levels I'm going to be watching, or two main zones I'm going to be watching headed into this week. And if you were in that last premium workshop on zones, then you know all about how I chart these out. All right, so these are all my levels for SPY on the 50-minute. I know it looks crazy, but I'm only really focused on what's right next to us, all right? That's why I'm only focused on these two for right now. And that is pretty much it. We are in bullish mode once again. We did have a very aggressive rally for 2 days. You know, it's probably not just going to go straight up like this for the whole entire week. But as long as you're making higher lows along the way, not bad. So that's what's going on for the SPY. Let's move over to the ARK ETF. This one and the Russell 2000 are the... I hope that happens, but this one and the Russell 2000 are the ones that are really intriguing me right now. Okay, we just kind of finished a lot of earnings for small caps and mid caps. And if we look at the ARK ETF, we have this big flag pattern, closed back above the 200-day moving average, hidden bullish divergence. And you can break out of two things at the same time. You can break out of this wedge, and you can also see this whole entire green zone over here. You can break out of that at the same time too. So I will be hoping for this move over the next week or so on the ARK ETF if you can confirm the breakout. So a big breakout test coming for a lot of mid-cap and growth names. If you do get that, it could send you back up to 45-ish on the ARK ETF. You see this high and then you see these highs. And that 1 hour wedge / triple bottom support, which was flipping this previous resistance into a support, it's played out pretty nicely. So we're waiting to see if we can get some more continuation because you're not broken out of the wedge yet. If we go back down to that 1 hour chart, you can see you're still well within it. So it's not over yet. And then the Russell 2000 very similarly, bull flagging, and this is a big one, reclaiming this back above this zone. You can see these major lows from the beginning of 2022. You're now back above them. So as long as you can continue to hold above this zone, that is pretty good. And then your next resistance I have for the IWM is around 195.5. Okay. Let's talk about the Qs really quickly. Very similar to the SPY. On the daily, you've got this gap fill around 303.2, which is pretty much the top of this resistance zone too.
Very, very key level. You see this candle high, you see these candle lows, you see this candle high, you see this candle high, you see this candle low, you see all of these candle lows, you see this candle high. 303.2 is the big level. If we can continue going higher, that is the big level you're going to want to see get broken. You can even go all the way back to the beginning of the bull market in 2020. It was pretty much your high of day on September 2nd, 2020. So 303.2, that is the key level. If you can close the week above that, that would be amazing. You know, it's only about 1% higher. We were up 2% Friday alone. So if we could just put another 1% and hold it, pretty good. That would be pretty good. So you're back above this little resistance. You broke out of that wedge. The work that we had to put in last week just to get the initial breakouts has happened. This week, what you're looking for is a continuation. And there probably will be a pullback along those lines. But as long as you're making lows above these ones, it's all good. And for right now, this could just simply be looked at as a little bit of a bullish back test after breaking out in the beginning of the year. So it's very, very different than something like this. The beginning to last year was quite the opposite, right? You had an uptrend. You had an uptrend right over here. You can see pretty much started the year. Let me just leave all this for 1 second. This was your bull market uptrend. You started off last year by breaking under it, right? And what happened for the rest of last year? You went down. Vice versa. Then you had a bear market for a year. This was your bear market downtrend, right? And how did you start off this year? By breaking out of it. So which law of that is Newton's law? It's like the third one or something. In every reaction has an equal and opposite reaction, right? Third law, Newton's third law. If this was your initial reaction, right? Let me make one of them red and one of them green so it's easy to see. This was your initial reaction. Wouldn't this be, and I'm not trying to say Newton's third law has anything to do with technical analysis, right? But just for fun, if that is your first initial action, would this not be your opposite and equal reaction? Of course, it would take time. It would take good macro environments. It would take good earnings. But this is pretty much the exact opposite of how we started last year. And we all know what happened last year. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't think the typical bear market's only 1 year long. Also, there's still the nonstop talks about a recession. And there's still pretty hot inflation. But sometimes it's okay to be a little bit optimistic despite how crazy things are. I think it's okay. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's just we're being optimistic for the fun of it. I don't know. You don't have to be. It might not work. Zeke in the chat says, who's Newton? Don't worry about it, Zeke. It's all good. Don't worry about it. All right, let's keep going. So let's move on to the VIX now. Just a quick look at it. It's back down to this little support. It's found at $18 headed into the week. So that is something to keep an eye on. You're going to want it to flush under that. Maybe retest the slow at 17. But when the VIX gets down to these levels, right, I'm just going to make a whole entire zone here. It can be a little bit weird. It could just be weird. You can have days where like the VIX is green, the SPY is green, like just stuff where it doesn't really matter what it's kind of saying short term. So I'm not really too focused on the VIX right now, but it's at a level where it has bounced in the past. That's the only thing I'm going to kind of read from it for tonight's stream. So just keep an eye on that. And there you go, Keanu. Thank you for helping me out. Yeah, I was talking about Cam Newton. He's a quarterback by day and physics guy by night. I don't know. So that's what's going on with the market. Just a quick look at the swings I've recently alerted. Square up 5%. Probably my second biggest gain last week. Still looking pretty nice. I'm not going to lie. I did take profits on my calls. I didn't really want to hold them over the weekend. They were up nicely. Maybe I should have left a little bit of runners. I don't know. But hidden bullish divergence nearly confirmed heading into the week. You broke out of the handle part of this cup and handle. it's broken out of a lot of different things. So it's doing its thing. That's all I can say for right now. The swing's swinging in the right direction. Hopefully it keeps going. And then of course RIOT still looks the same. Pendulum inverse head and shoulders, hidden bullish divergence. Maybe just hoping that this 4-hour wedge on Bitcoin plays out, even though Mara unfortunately hasn't been doing too well. So I don't know if that's going to affect this one, but we will see. And yeah, let's move into some large caps now. Let's start off with Tesla. I did share a lot of charts earlier today on Twitter, so you can go check those out on your own time. But I shared a whole bunch of them, and you can see them all over here. So I'm just going to kind of run through some of them again. Tesla's just in a range. If we get onto the 4-hour chart, just waiting to see which way this range breaks. You know, on one hand, it's got this like cup and handle look to it. On another hand, it looks kind of like Wyckoff distribution. I know Cheddar Free shared that in the Discord. I'm just waiting to see which way that breaks. And then we've got Apple, which to me, first of all, on the daily, nice reclaim of the 200-day moving average, but on the 4-hour looks like a little bit of a cup and handle with hidden bullish divergence. We've got Amazon, pretty nice wedge breakout headed into this week. Go. Got Meta, which had a very nice move off the wedge breakout I shared last Sunday night on the stream. Go back to exactly a week ago, we talked about this wedge when it was literally like right here. And I was like, look at this wedge. And yeah, played out very nicely. Huge day on Friday as well. Google, 4-hour chart. Got this bullish shark. I might have also, I think we did also chart this literally last week stream. The bullish shark had a nice week playing out after that. AMD on the 4 hours got this bull flag to it, hidden bullish divergence, testing a breakout headed into the week. This is a key level, 79.29 for AMD. You see these highs over here and this low. That is the level in which you want to continue to hold above. Also like the higher lows and higher highs over here. So, I mean, if it does break out, you can see this $89 level. Look, it was a high over here, low over here, and a most recent swing high from the beginning of last month. Next up, let's take a look at AMC. It's in this downsloping channel. It tried to break out of it, but then earnings pulled it back, but it's still making higher lows headed towards the top of that channel, so I'm still watching that. And then GameStop broke out of a huge wedge, kind of back tested it, so watching that as well. Lucid, another one. Downsloping channel, double bottom, hidden bullish divergence. This one's on breakout watch. It's got a gap to fill above at 980-ish. You stop saying Fisker. Let's look at this one more time, okay? I did a webinar on this today. We looked at this last week on stream. Still haven't shared it on Twitter. I still haven't talked about it in the Discord. This, for right now, this is just a little stream secret. Okay, it's just a stream secret. That's all it is for right now. But last week, we were literally at the lows, at the lowest lows when I pulled this out for the first time. And since then, it is up 34%. Okay. This is not going to work. Just 1 second. Something like this. Okay, it's obviously not perfect. It's like smaller. Pretty much that's probably the closest way I can do it. So we've got some stuff going on over here. And if we continue to make higher lows, higher highs, get back above that 200-day moving average, retest the breakout, I would say the likelihood of a breakout would be pretty decent. And Keanu, you're in the chat. You talk about this a lot. I've talked about this a lot. The longer the consolidation, potentially, the larger the move by far. Okay, overall, it's been consolidating for almost a year. It doesn't even feel real, but since pretty much about last May, Fisker was at about the same price. So it was only like 5% higher. So it's pretty much spent the last year within this 25% range, where in that time, most stocks did something like this, where they sold off way more, made much lower lows. However, a lot of them did also kind of regain a lot of that, and Fisker's just been going sideways. So it didn't do horribly like a lot of other stocks during the bear market last year, but it also hasn't had that same nice rally that a lot of names have had in the last 2 or 3 months. So it outperformed for a lot, and now it's kind of underperforming, but there could be a large reason for that, and we will see. Just depends on how you want to look at it. Let me redraw that same wedge on the daily, make it a little bit different. There it is. We'll see what happens. So that's really what's going on with a lot of those names. There's a couple more, Disney on the 4-hour chart, getting a nice bounce off the 618 golden retrace and also a falling wedge breakout. See if anything did anything crazy on Friday. I know Ford had some news about, let's see what it was. I don't know if this news was on Friday, but what was that big Ford news last week? Well, there was some news, I think, about like Ford's going to, what was it? If people don't pay their car bills or something, like lock them out of their cars, or what was it? Ford not paying bills. I don't know if this was real, but Ford has applied for a patent to make remote car repossessions nearly seamless for lenders and deeply unpleasant for car owners in default. They may endure an incessant sound, I don't even know what that word means, sweat out disabled air conditioning, and eventually get locked out of their car. I don't know. I don't know. Take a look at the chat. Maxime says turning off car people don't pay. Callie Frankie says behind on payment locks you out, and the truck could drive itself. There's no way the truck could drive itself to the. That sounds like some like Tesla type of stuff. Like Elon just takes your car back right to the factory. It's crazy. But there was some other news too. Ford boosting vehicle production at plants across North America. It said on Friday it plans to boost vehicle production at manufacturing plants this year and will launch new versions of its Super Duty and Ranger trucks and its Mustang and Escape passenger cars. The automaker plans to nearly double its hourly production of Mustang Mach-Es. I think those are the new electric ones. They look pretty nice. Reach 210k units, triple its Lightning production this year to 150k units, and race production for the Bronco Sport. That's one of my cars I really want. I'm really jealous that Keanu has that car. And Maverick, but not the Sport. I just want the Bronco. I think it's like the Outer Banks or whichever one it is. By more than 80k units this year. The company will also invest $95 million and 1,100 union jobs to increase annual production of its transit and e-transit vans by 38,000. So a lot of different things going on there. In terms of the chart, you're just in this massive triangle. I mean, you could chart your trend line like this. And the reason I have it initially charted like this is because of all these little highs up here. But I guess you could also look at it like this too, to be a little bit more conservative. But it's just in this huge triangle. That's really it. Yeah. RIVN was up 8% on Friday. RIVN still reportedly sees 62,000 production target as possibility. RIVN internally believes its lofty goal of 60,000 vehicles produced in 2023 is still possible. We'll see. But on the daily, though, it's got some classic bullish divergence and this potential double bottom at around 15. So Palantir trying to get back above the 200-day moving average with hidden bullish divergence. On the 4-hour chart, it's not much of any pattern here, but I think that 764 level is pretty big. That's pretty much it. I don't know if there's much else to really say going into the week. I think it's kind of straightforward. Just see if we can get that continuation in the market or not. Yeah, if anybody has any ticker requests, feel free to drop them in the chat. Make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And there's no sales or webinars or anything right now. The sale just ended for premium. We just did a webinar today. So there's nothing for me to really promote right now. Yes, but join the Discord. It's free to join. Link is in the description. However, though, if anybody does want that latest premium sale, which is 40% off annual, I'm not making it live on Twitter or Discord again. But if you do want it, feel free to just say it in the chat and I can drop the link in. I have to like re-enable it and stuff. So Mara, I believe, delayed their earnings. I don't know what's happening with that. But there is also Marathon Digital Holdings announces Bitcoin production and mining updates for February 2023. Increased hash rate 30% by energizing approximately 18.8k Bitcoin miners. Increased unrestricted Bitcoin holdings from 8090 Bitcoin to 8260, valued at almost $200 million. So I don't know, it's still got this kind of inverse head and shoulders look to it. I guess if you can just hold above that 560-ish zone, it's all still okay. But it kind of broke under this little low, so I don't know. It's got variables, but I think it needs some more work. LLAP. Not a lot to say here. You know, there's got this gap to fill at 183. On the daily, there's not much of a pattern. I guess the wedge could start to form on lower time frames, but that's really it. INDI, nice little breakout move above 1096. Friday, next level is kind of, I'd say a little bit over $12. I mean, you've got some minor resistances ahead of that. But really, I mean, this was kind of like Wyckoff accumulation in certain ways. Like the second schematic of Wyckoff accumulation. And you're just kind of seeing the breakout move now. So it's just really the levels at this point. And then some major support is your previous major resistance. NVIDIA. Yana was mentioning this in the webinar today. It's got this little level from the last week or so. Right there. So it's just a make or break area at that level. If it breaks above it, and you've got this gap fill up at 258. If it can't, then you've got support at this previous little resistance area, which you can see was a gap fill from the past, but also flipped into a support at 230. So your next two levels to the downside is 230, and then to the upside, it's about 258 almost. Clov, I don't know, there's just not a lot to talk about on the Clov chart right now. Had a nice move before earnings, and I guess right after earnings, and then gave it all back. It's like a very scuffed extreme cup and handle potentially, but there's just not enough like movement right now to get many patterns. It's just very choppy. AMAT broke out of this bull flag. Also kind of back tested it. So I think if it can continue to hold above this little zone here, that would be good.
I promise.
could see all of these lows here at 123. Look at this high, look at this low, this low, this low, this high, and then obviously look at that most recent high. There's no coincidence why it lines up right there. So those are your short-term levels. You can break that. There's not much to like 142 because there's like a whole entire range over there before. I mean, if we really zoom out here, it's like a massive inverse head and shoulders testing a breakout. They need to do like a Trading View Olympics. I really want to know who can chart faster than me on Trading View. Who can do it? Who can chart this fast? I don't know. I may not be the best trader, but I think I am the fastest charter. But the coffee might have something to do with it. Third cup today, and it's a Sunday. And it's a Sunday. Why am I having 3 cups of coffee on a Sunday? Or if you include tea. I don't know. Futures still kind of flat. Anybody just joined the stream, feel free to drop any tick requests in chat. We need another segment for the stream. Give me some ideas. What are some other segments you want on the stream? SDC. Oh. Special place in my heart for this stock. My first ever stock. Descending Browning wedge, hidden bullish divergence. I think if it can hold this little zone of support, that could be big. But I don't know, the question is, can it? Because all it's done for a long time is go straight down. So I don't know. I mean, if it does break out of this pattern, then there's not much till $1. I mean, you got the 200-day moving average around 90 cents. That's pretty much it. But apart from that, there is not much going on there. And yeah, there's nothing major headed into the week for economics. Just some Fed speakers. So nothing really over there. For earnings, I don't know, I'm not seeing anything huge. Looks like some small caps. You got CrowdStrike Tuesday. Yeah, nothing crazy. I think we're through pretty much the bulk of earnings. DocuSign Thursday, Oracle Thursday, Gap Thursday. Axiom says Powell speaking. Yeah, you got some Fed speakers this week. It's going to be interesting to see what they say. Focus back on the Fed, Powell testimony, do Senate on Tuesday, Congress on Wednesday. Yeah, I'm not winning that. Yeah. Of course. How does one even work? Trivia bot. We need better bots. There is a new Discord apps feature, so we can check that out.
anybody's on the Discord, feel free to join. Link is in the description. I'm trying to think of like a something to do on the stream right now on the spot. I just can't think of anything. You know what I haven't looked at in a really long time? Altcoins. What's happened to the rest of the crypto market? They all literally look like this. I'm not saying this is the bottom at all. I have no clue what a lot of these even do, if anything. But a lot of them literally just look like this. Like that. That's like what a lot of them look like in some sort of way. What's up, Papa Strata? The trade desk. I mean, there's not much to do on this one apart from levels. It's really it. Those are your levels. Alright, but this is the best thing I could think of right now. We should make like an ideas channel in the Discord. But I've got a little game. JEPI, potential inverse head and shoulders. Pretty much. Alright, I want you all to answer alongside me. Okay. Flip a coin. Heads bullish, tails bearish, short term. Heads bullish. Alright, let's go. Let's see. It's tails. You said tails bearish. I don't know. Not financial advice. Also, does this overlay have chat on it? That works. I have something in the chat. Let's see if that goes up. Alright. Lead a boring life from here forward, or reborn with all your memories into a baby of the opposite sex. I mean, is it me though, or is it just like, yes, is you're reborn? I mean, this is how I get canceled, isn't it? This is how it happens. This is exactly how it happens, right? I know what I would pick, but I don't know at the same time. All right, can we go to the next one? How does this work? Great, the one that I picked doesn't even work. Okay. Would you rather? I don't even know who that is. But feel free to join in the chat. Be a police officer or firefighter. I'd rather be a firefighter. I feel like they're both very important jobs, though. Completely alone on an island, or what type of a question is that? For sure, alone on an island. I would not want to be overworked in a factory.
I would say find a cure for terminal disease. Like, you could win this for a lot of different things, which could be important, but this could actually save lives. So like, I'm gonna have to go with that. Have a house made of sprawling underground rooms and tunnels, or have a small. I want a flying house for sure. We were just talking about this. We were just looking at the up house. Be swept up in a hurricane or be lost in a flood. I'd rather be swept up in a hurricane. Become a Pokemon trainer, 10 top. I'm gonna be a Pokemon trainer. 50-50. Have huge arms and weak legs, or have huge legs and weak arms. I mean, this is pretty much already me, you know, just saying. Pretty much me. Huge arms. I never hit leg day. I don't know. I don't even know what that other game is. Wear the same thing every day, or never wear the same clothes twice. Never wear the same clothes twice, for sure. Not know how to read or write. I would say write, because I read more than I write. Get B's and C's at an Ivy League school, or A's at a standard university. I'd say B's and C's because jobs mainly look at where you went, not what your GPA was. But most people would disagree. I don't know. Be lost in the woods or stuck in a haunted house? I'd say stuck in a haunted house. I'd rather be in a haunted house and not know where I am in the middle of the night. Why do I have like the unpopular opinions? Also, let me raise that chat. Let's see it. Timestamps to your recording. Our new bookmarking feature lets you add a timestamp and a custom title to any moment in your recording using a hotkey. No, do not open that.
We all
okay,
know going through hours of footage just isn't fun, which is why Streamlabs is introducing bookmarking. This feature allows you to add timestamps and custom titles to any moments in your recording with just the press of a hotkey. And I'm going to show you everything you need to know about it. Here we go. What is up, all you awesome streamers? Wowed here, wishing you the best on this very, very cold day. Let's roll to the bottom of the hotkey section to locate the. We'll make what you want to be shown with just the touch of a button. For example, you can create a label called Create Clip, which your editor can use to turn into a TikTok or Instagram reel using cross clip. Then you can have a label called Cut, which you know that a marker was placed. Open up the notifications and the bookmarking feature from Streamlabs.
Own a horse in the city, own a cat in the country. I feel like this is very normal to own a cat in the country, but to own a horse in the city would be a kind of cool flex. Why are all my opinions unpopular? I'd say, I mean, if you're gonna die, I'd rather be it head first, because if it's your feet first, then like, you just gotta get the rest of your body swallowed, and you'd feel, this is getting very dark for no reason. Ice breath, fire breath. Ice breath. Travel at light speed, be able to read minds. Light speed. I feel like reading minds would be such a curse, because like, I don't care. Again, another unpopular opinion. I guess I'm just weird. End world hunger, find a cure for cancer. This is how they get you. This is how you get canceled. Because, oh, I click end world hunger, then I don't want to solve the cancer, and then if I do the opposite, I don't care about world hunger. This is how they get you. So we're going to leave it at this, because I'm not getting canceled tonight. It's not happening. Alright, it's not happening. I'm not picking. They want me to pick. Alright, they want me to pick. They want me to get canceled. You know what? I'm going to do both. I'm going to do both. Okay? Have a good night. Have a good week. And let's find cures to cancer and end world hunger one step at a time.